Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Last time on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we had the Pillar Man, where, the Pillar Man was brought to life by the blood of the sacrifices by the Nazis, and he was dubbed the name of the Mexican Wind, San Viento. And then he escaped. The Nazis realized they had no idea what the fuck they were doing, and then JoJo came in to save them at the end. Yeah. And now we are awaiting our huge first battle between JoJo and San Viento. So, yeah, that was pretty much that. It was a good episode overall. And we are going to just go ahead and pop right into the next episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Here we go.
You're it!
What's up?
Oh, I get it. You're one of those strong silent types, right? Ever thought about modeling? You've got a nice look there.
What's up?
Come on, let's see what you got.
Be an
Give me
underwear
a
model.
smile. I know you can do it. Show me some vulnerability. Work with me here.
He loves
Make some
fucking with
love
his
to the
opponents.
camera. Ready, set, give me happy. Now be silly. Show us those pearly whites.
Oh, God. He's so weird. I mean, that's the thing. I'm glad he's different, and I hope his predicting will help him. But I don't even know if Jonathan could take on San Viento. And he was trained.
I know you think he's dangerous, but I have a theory that maybe he's not so bad. Let me test something out here. I don't want to assume he's evil just because he killed a bunch of brainless...
But are you insane? If he's not evil, why did he kill all my men?
Don't know.
Well, they are
Some would
Nazis.
say you're responsible for what's happened. Weren't you the one experimenting on him and trying to blast him away in the first place?
I guess that
I
is a
really
good
care
point.
about that.
Cold and long, with many different pieces.
He does understand. He's not simply mimicking.
Yeah.
It took him practically no time at all to completely master our language.
Yeah, the English language that the Nazis were
How
speaking
is
for
he
some
doing
reason.
that? He took it apart.
I do not want to play games.
Yeet.
Ugh, what the?
Dodge.
Rib blades, sometimes known as fighting ribs. They're capable of being manipulated in any direction.
Thanks, President Mike. Rib blades.
This human seems different from the others. I was not able to absorb his body into mine.
It's his hormone.
Just flew away.
He's got like a natural hormone defense.
Like, it would seem that humans have evolved their confidence.
Hope you're hungry. One hormone sandwich coming up.
Oh, that's just a straight hormone punch. Nothing fancy or
What the
anything.
devil? My hormone is making that blood float.
Uh-oh.
Something's wrong here. Somehow it's behaving just like Straight-So's scarf.
My body and his body seem to be repelling against one another.
Okay, so his body is different. It's not like a vampire. Ah!
Wait,
Up.
it's still there.
That was weird.
But check it out. I can completely remove my thumb. Doesn't anyone have a sense of humor left? Come on, guys. This is funny stuff here.
Dumbass.
See if you can dodge this one, big guy! How about a dose of hormone right in the eye? I hope you're ready for your can't miss close-up.
Yep.
What?
Oh, his
That's
body is so
impossible.
weird.
Even his eye.
He seems to create his own energy.
Yeah.
He controls it with his breathing. But
Interesting, he
lying
doesn't
there
know about
now,
hormone.
Unconscious, he is as vulnerable as any other human.
JoJo, you've got to use your hormone breathing.
Breathe.
Was a fatherland.
It might not let you.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. Everyone just calm down here. Looks like my gamble paid off. Figuring that attacks from outside are no good, I'm going to
Get
send
inside.
some hormone into him while he tries to enjoy his meal. Enjoy your hormone blast!
Oh! Ripped him in half.
Sunlight, yeah, that's it. It was there on the walls of the cave. Sunlight is his natural enemy. The very reason he made the masks in the first place was to conquer the sun.
Okay. So we gotta get outside.
He's running out of breath. He won't be able to control his hormone. He hasn't had enough training with it. This fight has completely exhausted him. But fortunately for me, we're just a few steps away from the two of us catching some nice breeze.
I hope it's still daytime.
What's happening to me?
Ew.
Meat invade, also known as foul flesh.
They're pieces of his flesh.
Oh.
They're
Okay.
feeding on me. What?
Go help him. Oh.
Joestar, leave the rest to me.
All right, open the door.
Wow, von Stroheim.
Tuh.
I would have never thought.
Yeet.
Well attempted, primitives.
Just open the door.
Reach up and grab one. Take one and chop off my leg.
I
Chop
can't do
off
that.
your leg.
Coward! I proudly give up my leg for the fatherland. Now hurry up before it's too late.
This is so weird.
Damn it! Do it now, Joestar!
Come on.
Okay, I'll do it. But I gotta hand it to him. He's got guts.
Huh.
I wish there was some other way. But if he's courageous enough, then
So weird.
me.
Is this? It's still a Nazi. Sunlight. Oh.
Monster's trying to crawl inside my leg!
Get out of there, you! Well, this
He
is a
hid in
shock.
there.
Wait, what are you doing? Put it down, von Stroheim.
We did not awaken San Viento simply for scientific research or military gain.
Then why? Why did you risk it? Tell me!
Silence! It's your destiny to hear these words from my lips, Joestar.
Okay.
San Viento is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh,
the Wehrmacht
no.
has discovered another pillar in Europe.
Son of
we
a
now
bitch.
know that San Viento is not the only one of his kind around.
Oh no.
For millennia, those powers have remained dormant, but that won't last, and soon they will awaken. You must find another weakness other than just sunlight, or else hope is lost.
Yeah.
That's why your experiment will need more than just your hormone to overcome them. You must go to Rome. There you will find
Rome.
someone who can help you.
Okay.
It is someone that your speedwagon knows very well.
Okay.
Farewell. You annoying Englishman.
Don't do it! I still have questions for you! Von Stroheim!
Oh.
San Viento!
You annoy me, primitive. I will destroy you.
Come on, sunlight.
Steady your breathing. Use your hormone technique.
Breathe.
I know just what you're going to say next. You'll say I've seen right through you all this time, Joestar.
I've seen right through you all this time, Joestar.
Oh, reflect the sunlight. That's clever.
Noon over this well. Well, screw that idea.
Oh.
I'm not letting you touch the water.
Oh. So it
I'm
worked.
alive, thanks to the sun. He's a statue now, but we finally got that smile.
Huh. Holy crap. Okay, so there's not like... So there's not one main villain, there's a bunch of villains. Alrighty. Man, oh man. So, the defeat of San Viento. But this is not where it ends. This is not where it ends. There's more out there. Oh, boy. Alright, let's go ahead and pop into the notes. The first thing I wrote down was learning. That was interesting, San Viento learning. We had a bit of that last episode. But yeah, just him just looking at something and being able to learn, It does show off his, incredible intelligence, which is pretty cool. Which makes it interesting, again, that, it's like, okay, his incredible intelligence matched with his power, and yet he was still beaten by JoJo and von Stroheim. So, that seems a little odd, but still, it does work, and, that's the thing, is that JoJo is not like he's not a slouch. JoJo is a formidable opponent, but that's the thing, is that I would have, he's a prodigy. He's probably on level, I would say, with Jonathan in terms of power. It's just that he doesn't have sort of the refined skill that Jonathan has. So yeah, it's like, when you put him against, someone who's supposed to be stronger than, even Dio, it does seem a little odd, But whatever. But yeah, so we had the learning. The rib blades, that was pretty interesting. The fact that he was just able to do, rib blades, which is kind of like what happens with the mask, How the mask has, like, these claws that come out and attach to the head. Whereas this was just his ribs coming out and attacking. Luckily, JoJo just has this natural Hamon defense technique, which is pretty good. And I do like that, San Viento being like, oh, this guy's different, I've never encountered a human like this before. And yeah, that's just his natural Hamon ability. And again, it does say something that, okay, his natural Hamon ability is somewhat of a match for San Viento. Imagine if it was refined, like with Jonathan, It seemed like San Viento was immune, but he's not immune. It's not exactly that he's immune to Hamon, but he has ways, basically. It's kind of like his outer shell is not immune, but can sort of defend against Hamon, which is pretty interesting. Because that was the thing with Dio, was that, if you could land a solid hit on Dio, then it worked. The problem was that, Dio being so clever, as soon as you connected, he would sap away all the heat, and thus the Hamon wouldn't work anymore, So I do like that San Viento does have, like, more unique moves than Dio ever did, Well, and I mean, like, his moves are unique from Dio's, So that's pretty good. And he's not just another Dio. Although he's not as, I don't know, I guess entertaining as Dio was. Because Dio was just nuts. Whereas San Viento, it's like, okay, this is, the ancient sort of, being that has come back, and he starts to question these new humans that seem to have evolved, But that's alright. Hopefully the other pillar men, or women, we don't know. Hopefully the other pillar people will have a bit more personality than San Viento did. Because that's the thing, is San Viento, and especially, after Straizo, who, Straizo was okay, but he was no Dio, and then San Viento, well, he's alright, but he's still no Dio, But yeah, so I did like that, okay, so his outer shell, basically, he can sort of repel Hamon. So JoJo had to get inside in order to send some Hamon. That was very cool, very clever. Again, it does show, honestly, JoJo's intelligence, His sort of incredible intelligence, and what makes him unique from Jonathan is his predicting and everything, and his battle strategy, and this is all just innate within him. So that's the thing. That's sort of what makes up for his lack of Hamon training. So yeah. I wrote down digestion, which we kind of knew already, that his entire body is basically a digestion system in order to absorb people. We pretty much already knew that. I wrote down meat invade. I thought that was funny. So, like Dio, there are still other parts of his body that he can control. Now, I don't think Dio ever had control of, like, severed parts of his body, but we really didn't get to see that happen. But the most we had was, when Dio severed his own head, he was still able to connect to other things, So, it makes sense that this is sort of the natural evolution of that, is that Sanviento can control multiple, parts to him, and started using his meat. He basically he stuck his meat on JoJo, okay? Let's just say it like that, And he basically weighed him down, which is pretty interesting. And I do like that they finally brought up that JoJo is not trained. He's not trained in Hamon. He's just kind of going on, instinct, basically. So I like that did sort of put a hamper on things, Like, he was exhausted after this fight, and his breathing wasn't that great. So he couldn't control his Hamon as well. Which, that is the thing, is that right now, he's unrefined. He's untrained with Hamon. But he does have, his mind, which allows him to sort of fight, I don't want to say, like, as well as Jonathan, but it gets him far, But he does need to train. Especially because von Stroheim said there are more pillars. So that's the thing, is that it's not that, all right, well, Sanviento escaped and we have to go find him later, just like with Dio. It's that, okay, well, we defeated Sanviento barely, and now we have to go out and train because there are other pillars throughout the world that will soon be awoken. So that's pretty cool. And basically the Nazis were they were experimenting to find the weakness of Sanviento. So that was pretty interesting. And yeah, we're going to have to go to Rome, where Speedwagon knows someone who can train JoJo in Hamon. So that's pretty cool. And then I wrote down noon. I thought that was very clever, that because it was high noon, the sun was looking directly down into the well and reflecting the sunlight back. So I thought that was really clever. And then just completely defeating Sanviento like that. That was really nice. And then I didn't write this down, but we do have to sort of talk about this a little bit. Von Stroheim is very interesting because it's like, this is a Nazi. Very much a bad guy. He's a Nazi. But the way they talk about him, it is kind of interesting in sort of an honorable way. It's like, okay, he's a Nazi, but it's like, okay, well, he has this courage, hey, he is actually trying to help and stuff like that. It's kind of like, in such a crazy moment facing Sanviento, it's like we put aside everything and we just came together to work, to try to beat him. That was very interesting, actually. And they acknowledged, like, hey, for a Nazi, he did actually try to help, It's not, I don't know, it's just so weird, you have to keep it in the back of your head. It's like, oh yeah, he is a Nazi. By definition, he's bad, because the Nazis suck. So that was interesting. And honestly, like, at the end, it's like, oh, von Stroheim died. Like, well, that sucks, because he was helpful, but at the same time, it's like, he was the one who released Sanviento, and he is a Nazi. So, yeah, it's like you take it with a grain of salt, basically. So I thought that was very interesting. That, it's like, it's not like, well, he's a good man. It's like, well, he is a Nazi, but he did his part. He tried to help. And in the end, he did, make sure he did help out with, trapping Sanviento in the sunlight. So yeah, that was definitely really interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wrote down for this episode. Really great, really enjoyed it, and I'm glad, like, now we pretty much have the roadmap of where we're going in this part, because that was the thing, was that in part one, it was, okay, we have to have our initial confrontations with Dio, And then it's like, okay, well, now we need to train and learn this stuff, face off against Tarukas and Bluford, excuse me, and face them, get all this stuff, and then we'll make our way back to Dio. Now it's sort of the same thing where, okay, we beat San Viento, now we need to go and train in Rome and then, take on all the Pillar Men, basically. So that's really cool. I do like that now that we have a roadmap, basically, of what we're going to be doing here in part 2. So yeah, I'm excited to get into more of that. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.